there have been a few people in the Republican Party that have pushed themselves to the front of the line in the I'm going to back this dipshit um, until it burns my entire life down. And there are a couple of people where with smoldering lives, like Rep MTG and Boebert and a couple of others, where of course they're going to back Trump because they're going to lose anyways in the rest of their life. So if he wins, it's like you don't have enough money to bet on a horse race. So for any of it to make a difference, like if you bet on the one you know is going to win, you're going to double. You won't double your money. You'll get like $5, and it's not going to help you. So you might as well just throw it all at a total long shot. And if it works, you'll be able to get yourself out of at least a section of your problems, right? So you'll be able to pay off the bookies or whatever, but because you got to go on the long shot. And that's where I think a lot of these folks get to. There are a couple, though, that have been just jumping to the front of the line of this nonsense. And I have to say, like, one of them is, other than the fact that he's from Florida, I find very odd that he's backing this dude. But Byron Donalds is a representative from Florida. I forget the district. But he's all over the place defending Trump. Like if I was being completely cynical, it feels like the GOP are really like they've got 8 or 10 people who might do this. The rest of them aren't interested. But they're like, if we give more ground to one of our black members, then it'll lay some extra coverage. If I was being completely cynical, that's what it looks like all the time. Now, I don't think he's doing it under duress, and I don't think they're making him do it. I just think they're like, let him do it. It'll be harder for them to attack or some nonsense. Like it seems that kind of cynical. Now, every time there's a microphone, though, to defend Trump, Donaldson will he'll like elbow the wind guard off the mic to get to like barf his Trump support down the barrel. So again, if there's any manipulation, it seems unnecessary. Except for the fact that maybe he wants a history in Florida politics and he thinks that's where the donor base is and that's his thing, or he just thinks. And here's the other thing. It might just be, and this might be the most shocking part, and you have to leave room for this. It might simply be that Byron Donaldson is an idiot who actually thinks Trump is an innocent man and the greatest president we've ever had. Which is just, like, we see people defend Trump all the time with that kind of language, and you're like, that's a silly person. Like, I'm a big fan of what Biden is doing. I loved Obama. Clinton did some rock solid stuff. And Jimmy Carter is just a gem of a fucking human being. Period. End of story. But I'm not deifying any of them. I'm just saying these are good men who tried to do good work. Like, it doesn't have to go any further than that. I don't have but this, like, fart huffing garbage from the right about, like, if there's no Trump, there's no America. You're like, I don't get that at all. Especially, like, how is that patriotism? How can you define that as patriotism? America's a great country as long as a second-generation rich kid who's never done anything his whole fucking life but lose other people's money runs the place. So, thank you for the Chud super chat. That was really lovely. Somebody just put 1984 as a super chat for Chud because that's the year the movie came out. Bless you. It was a good year overall. And I think, and I'm not just saying that because I'm in Nerd Halen. All right. Here's the weird part. Let's move on to this. Byron Donalds is on Fox Business defending Trump. And this is the thumbnail that they use for the show. You ready? This is Fox Business. Yeah. Check that out. Fox Business has made an AI / Photoshop, probably AI, using a real picture, and then they made a fake mugshot. And you know how it's fake? Because he's not actually that tall. But they did this, like, they're trying to make their viewers go, he's been arrested, they're taking him. Like, at this point, they just got to be fucking with him. Like, this is a skewer. Okay, then, all right, political shakedown. GOP rep warns this will end our country. This will end our country. Yes, the prosecution of Donald Trump for stealing classified documents and participating in a conspiracy that he admits to, and other people are being charged in this conspiracy as well, by going after a former president and not treating him like a monarch, not treating him like the criminal that he is. We would save our country. All right, they've got to have a good explanation, and he's only got 5 minutes to do it. Let's fucking see.
Joining us now is Florida Congressman Byron Donalds. And Congressman, it's always great to have you with us. So I want to get back to this.
Biden's 2 tiers of justice? Biden stays silent amid Trump indictment. By the way, the Dow is doing depressingly well under Byron and this lady. Fox Business. This is what you guys do. And this is like, please at some point go, the markets are responding very positively to Trump being indicted tomorrow.
Feeling that there's a 2-tier justice system in this country, because so many people look back to Hillary Clinton and her emails and James Comey.
You mean the whole investigation that never actually bore anything out, that they actually continued past its viability anyways, and then after it, the talk of it by James Comey handed Trump the mild edge he needed to win the election, it turned out to be fucking nothing, versus Trump actively fighting and engaging in a conspiracy with his body man to hide documents, shred, or copy them. There's a fucking copy machine in the storage area right next to the document. So you can just go in there and make your own copies and come on out.
Saying there's no prosecutor that would prosecute this case. So they're prosecuting Donald Trump, and they're doing it now, and people are saying this.
Yeah, so I don't know if you know this, but not everything is a crime. And sometimes unethical things or disturbing things aren't a crime. And sometimes something is maybe not unethical or disturbing to some people, but it is a crime. And then there are situations where you got somebody like Trump doing something that's fucking both. It's both. It's unethical and disturbing, and it's a fucking crime. I don't get this. Like, what kind of like attorney thinking is this? Because we see this a bunch. What attorney walks in and goes, Your Honor, I recognize that my client was found with a fork full of his victim in his mouth. He had a napkin covered in the victim's blood, tucked into his tuxedo, and he was imbibing a gallon of their blood at the same time, next to the soft illumination of a light made with a lampshade from their skin. But I would like to remind you, Your Honor, the mayor of this city has never gotten a traffic ticket, and there is just no fucking way he's never sped. Yeah, that's it. Great. Swing for the fences, dummy.
This is just downright unfair.
It's unfair. Why, oh, why? Hold on. Wait, it's... That's not fair no more. It's not fair, bro. That's not fair. He could go to down and do the thing with the thing. Why how come? Why did it not fail? It's not fail. Not.
Well, it's not even a feeling. There is a 2-tier
It is not a feeling.
justice system. That's exactly what's happened. Listen,
Yes, there's a 2-tier justice system. One for you and one for me.
I've read the Durham report. I've read this FBI 1023 form about Hunter Biden and Joe Biden. And now you're seeing this documents case. I've had a chance to look at this indictment.
Oh, so you've read the other two, but you've looked at the indictment. That's a curious choice of words, don't you think?
And it is crystal clear to me that if you're a Republican who basically stands tough against the
Basically?
radical left agenda.
Yeah, basically. He was standing tough against a radical left agenda except when he was storing these. And again, I have to say, I don't know if Rupert Murdoch sent a fucking memo to Fox and Fox Business, but they're like, every time one of these dickheads tries to defend him, just show a really embarrassing picture of where this asshole stored this stuff. Because that's, I mean, if you want to, that's like something that they would accuse the left-wing media machine of doing, you know, is that you bring him on, and then while he's trying to talk, you guys are putting up pictures of the shitter.
They're going to do everything they can to take you out. That's really what this is about.
No, they aren't. What did they do to try and take him out? What? What the fuck? What? Did they make him not return these documents? Did they make him tell Walt Nauta to bring these boxes in, 64 boxes out of the storage area after the subpoena, and then only return 30 of them? Take some of them to Bedminster? Who made him do this? God, all right, who is it? Mediaite? Who did it? Who did this? Keith Olbermann, did you hypnotize Trump and make him be an asshole with no regard for national security?
About Hillary Clinton destroyed emails that were.
You can't destroy emails. You can't. She just destroyed the devices in her control that had those emails on them. And by the way, if they are classified and they shouldn't be out and it's dangerous, and what if they get in the wind? That's the proper thing to do. Nobody can destroy an email. It's fucking somewhere. Did she destroy? Okay. If Hillary Clinton hired a team of plumbers, in quotes, to, not real plumbers, obviously, although I don't know, maybe this is a weekend gig, to blow up the server room inside the State Department or flood it, as, you know, happened magically to the servers at Mar-a-Lago recently. If she hired somebody to go into the State Department and erase shit there, wow, that'd be a crime. That'd be amazing. That's some straight up Homeland, West Wing 24 drama. Right? But destroying it on her end doesn't actually do anything. It still exists. They have all those emails. None of them amounted to a fucking hill of beans. Oh, it's so lame. And I gotta say, if either the uppers at Fox or Rupert himself or the Murdochs are just like, fuck Trump, we're sick of his shit, and every time some dickhead, look at the 80-20 rule, or the, I would say maybe 75-25 rule in this framing. Two tiers of justice? Yes. This guy defending Trump no matter what the fuck he does because fuck America, and the other side is a turlet filled with classified documents where apparently if you're a guest at Mar-a-Lago, you can shit and read. Yeah. I need some light reading on the turlet.
By Congress. She destroyed them.
She destroyed them. She pwned them, bro.
And then the only reason why people found out that she had classified emails is because they showed up on the computer of Anthony Weiner when he was being investigated for child pornography. And that's
no. It was on Huma Abedin's laptop, as far as I know, that he had been using. And it wasn't child pornography. He was sending pictures of himself to people.
That's how they found her emails. Joe Biden took classified documents when he was a United States senator, when he was a vice president.
Yeah, when he was a vice president, he had every right to. And also, by the way, when he was vice president, listen to the layer of this, because Byron Donalds, like I said, he's read the other stuff. He's looked at. He's had a chance to glance at the indictment. And in this particular instance, if I may, he listened to the wording. It's kind of crucial because Byron Donalds is not dumb. He's stupid.
Classified documents when he was a United States senator, when he was a vice president, they were found in his garage, found at his office.
Okay, by the way, they were found in his garage and in his office because he called the FBI when they had found other documents at the Penn Center and said, you know what? we need to do a sweep to make sure there's not stuff intermingled in that's gotten in the wind. We need to have a complete sweep. And they invited the FBI in and let them do the search themselves. They did a preliminary search, and then they said, we've got some boxes. Our folks don't feel comfortable even looking through them. So here, look through them yourself. And then if you need, we're going to have the FBI come into all the properties we're even tangentially related to, and they can do a walkthrough. Do you see the difference? Does that register at all? Like, because almost even the biggest Trump supporters, I don't think that they don't know this shit. It's odd. It's really odd. Like these guys, like, you're going to tell me that Byron Donalds doesn't know this, doesn't know that both Biden and Pence offered up, for the FBI to do a search, like, unsupervised. Just here, knock yourself out, take a look. Go through any place you might want to look and have at it. Meanwhile, Trump was literally like engaged in a conspiracy to lie and obfuscate, even involving lying to one of his own attorneys, causing them to commit an act in the furtherance of a crime unknowingly. And then possibly his other attorney committing an act in the furtherance of a crime knowingly, but trying to hide it. How do you not know this shit? Like, this isn't even close. Oh, God.
All these places that they should not have been.
Unlike the shitter at Mar-a-Lago. Because at some point, what's the standard?
Donald Trump is a former president of the United States.
Yes, he is. And that's my favorite title that he has, besides, failed microblogger.
United States, that former presidents take information with them.
No. And by the way, information? Is that what they do? Because he lost his security clearance. Biden revoked it because of concerns within the intelligence community.
They have an ability to declassify.
Listen to that fucking sentence. First of all, Trump has stopped claiming he declassified stuff. That's garbage. And on tape, he's mentioned it. They have him on tape saying he knows he doesn't have that ability, especially now, and that he didn't declassify the documents that he had in his possession magically like a fucking leprechaun spy before he left the White House. But listen to this.
Donald Trump is a former president of the United States. That former presidents take information with them. They have an ability to declassify.
No. And by the way, GOP trolls out there has to be at least one. There has to be. We get a good group of you folks in here. Maggots, one of you guys. Do you want him to be right about this? Think before you speak. Think. Do you want what he just said to be anywhere near the truth? Do you want Barack Obama to have access to and have the ability to declassify documents when he is no longer president, right now? Because what's the difference between a former president on the day after or 10 years later? Do you want Bill Clinton to be able to get in there and declassify shit? How about Bush? But how about, by the way, Biden retroactively being able to do it while he's president to the time he was vice president, because Obama had signed an executive order saying that the vice president has the ability to declassify stuff on the same scale as the president does. Do you think for a fucking second, what? How in the shit do you think this is a good idea? By the way, I'm not afraid of Jimmy Carter doing it. I'm just saying Jimmy Carter doesn't even want that. No former president thinks that's a good idea. What do you just get? What do you think? The presidency is a fucking monarchy club? I mean, this might be Byron Donalds. I don't know how he did it. He really was, he's the turtle in the hair race in this. He's been like sneaking up on everybody to ultimately say what might be the stupidest excuse. This might be the dumbest excuse I have heard.
Which nobody else has.
Nobody. Not even the president who's there now. By the way, These people think that Trump could pardon himself as president. Do you think if Biden said, I'm pardoning me and Hunter for all the stuff we did, you think they would go, oh, all right, well, he can do it. He's president. That's that. What do you think? I'm pardoning myself for the documents that I had while I'm still president. You can't do that. Well, then neither can Trump. Shut the fuck up. Let him go to jail.
And they are the executive branch when they are commander-in-chief.
They are the executive branch. Okay, so Byron Donalds is all in on the Bill Barr Supreme Executive concept.
If you're not going to prosecute...
You're not going to prosecute it? And is he vying to be the next John Kennedy from Louisiana?
A former president over something like this? Where is the indictment on Hillary Clinton? Where is the special counsel on Joe Biden? Because that special counsel seems to be taking his time, while Jack Smith is a man berserk.
Well, that's
a man berserk. Yeah, he seemed that way. That I thought it was wrong of him to like finish the press conference when he announced the indictment by saying that, all people are presumed innocent, and, until they're found guilty by a jury of their peers in a court of law, and then teabagging every right-wing reporter in the room. That was just wrong.
Point. If we're going to have a conversation about documents, fine. Let's have it for every single person to whom.
Okay, but how about this? Great. Cool. We'll have a conversation about all of them. And we'll start with the guy who's not currently president and can't declassify anything, who just had classified documents about our nuclear program in his fucking shitter at his rental property.
It applies, including our current president. The problem is his case gets slow walked. The case on Hunter Biden gets slow walked. Donald.
No. And by the way, Hunter Biden's case, no matter what it is not national security. It isn't. The only case that actually has any legs might be tax stuff, and he's going to pay a fine if he didn't. If he didn't pay the taxes that he owed, he's going to pay a fine. He's going to pay the taxes in a fine, or pay the taxes and interest in a fine, or he's going to find some way to work it out with the government and blah, 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 and give him a painting. I don't know what the fuck. But it's not like none of us are worried about, oh, dear God, Hunter Biden has paintings of our nuclear program, and who's buying the paintings that are actually Da Vinci Code charts of where our strategic national interests are over the world. For fuck's sake. Trump himself had national defense secrets that he was showing to people, bragging about showing them to just randos, to people writing a book about Mark fucking Meadows. He did that on tape, apropos of fucking nothing, because he just felt Milley was saying shit about him, so he felt he needed to push back. They gave me the Saran attack plan. Look at it. So yes, great. Let's talk. When Hillary Clinton is running for president again, she'll move up and that will be a debatable point. Okay, but to none of these guys, none of them can point to a single leaked piece of information that is supposedly related to the 30,000 emails or the documents or her server at all that endangered American service people overseas or that did anything to endanger the national security of the United States. None of them even presume that. None of them are saying this. If this bit had gotten out at the time, it would have endangered the entire country. But our national secrets about our nuclear program and our allies' nuclear readiness and what we would do to retaliate against Iran if they attacked us or Israel, that's kind of timely and dangerous. And this asshole was hiding it on purpose and aware that he was hiding it.
The Trump case gets fast-tracked. Congressman, what can you and your colleagues do to at least, if we're going to have this conversation, make sure it's happening on the same kind of timeline? Because it's not happening that way right now.
Yeah, well, there's urgency issues, because Hillary's case was asked and answered a long fucking time ago. Here's a good idea. Call James Comey into a House, House Republicans, get him to testify in public again. I don't know. We'll watch it again. And let him tell you why there was no there. And then you guys can take the report that Republicans in the House and Senate put together and that said there's no there. And you can wag a finger at her again. And then we can go back to talking about our fucking nuclear secrets being in the shitter at Mar-a-Lago. How about that? Fast tracked.
Well, look, the first thing is, in terms of the Oversight Committee, all we can do is continue to investigate and release information to the public.
Right. Information, not evidence. All we can do is drip and drab things to make them seem more nefarious than they are. You know, when you don't have a lot of smoke, when you've got very little steam and you want to make it look like fire, you got to let it eke out at different times and only when they're walking by.
If other news stations choose not to cover it simply because it doesn't support their agenda and their narrative, there's not much we can do about that, but we will.
Cover what? Honest to God, look, I've been covering like the laptop, the alleged laptop. There is no Hunter Biden laptop, by the way. The hard drive contents that Rudy bought and all that shit and all the tangential stories that have gone with it. And there have been a couple of times where I was like, oh, they might have some real shit here. Let's give it a look. And one of those things was recently, like, they were like, we know about Ukraine, we know about China, we know about Romania, but there's other countries you've not even heard about. Remember that? Comer was saying that for a fucking, like, 2 weeks. We were listening to that shit. What country did it turn out to be? Ukraine, same thing. What were they talking about? A $5 million bribe. You know where that $5 million bribe went? It went to tax officials in Ukraine who were arrested. It never even got out of the country. It was a $5 million cash bribe. It didn't go to the Bidens.
We'll put that information out. We're actually moving through the appropriations process in Washington, D.C. That's going to start. And if
Really? You're going to start the appropriations process? Well, no time like the present. Oh, right, because the debt ceiling was passed and you guys got fuck all.
you have elements of the Department of Justice and the FBI who believe that there is only one set of laws for Republicans and not a set of laws for other people, then
not a set of laws. Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's runaway lawlessness. Look at the Democrats. It's the fucking Wild West.
yeah, we're going to have something to say about that when it's time to appropriate budgets.
Okay, so that's defund the police, defund the FBI, defund the Department of Justice. When it comes to budgets, if you're not going to prosecute the people we want prosecuted because our guy is guilty as fuck and we need cover for him, then we're going to deny you guys funds. By the way, no, you are not. No, you aren't. The MTGs and the Lauren Boeberts and the Byron Donalds of the party are, of that right-wing caucus of the Republicans in the House is going to maybe try and leverage McCarthy into passing some sort of shitty, low-end defund the FBI bill. And it's never going to get through the Senate, and it's never going to get signed by the president. And there are going to be enough Republicans who are like, what the fuck are you doing, to vote against it? So dude, you might as well just go down there and wave a flag that says, I've defunded the FBI with a giant swastika on the other side of it, and just move on.
Last thing is, this is at the end of the day belongs in the hands of the American people. We got to have a country where the rule of law is consistent across the board, not these political shakedowns, not political
shakedowns? Who are they getting cash from? Trump's broke. What kind of an asshole shakes down somebody who's fucking broke?
Prosecutions, because that is the thing that will end our country faster than anything else.
Congressman, a lot of people feel like this is a distraction from us talking about sort of the real issue.
Oh my God, they swapped women on me. I had no idea. Like did they just have them on like a lazy Susan?
Issues that Americans are facing too, which is a slowing economy and inflation.
I love how they have Ethereum right there. Ethereum is down. Really? Explain to me what good it is. Okay, I'll wait.
That's running well ahead of some of the wage increases that we've seen. I read a study this morning. We could be well into the second half of 2024 when we see the worst negative impacts of GDP. That's when we're all going to the polls. Why aren't we having more of a conversation around economics? And can you...
All right, look. Okay. Now they're fucking with him. Now come on. He's he's telling the whole story. That why do we got two tiers of justice and it's unfair, and Hillary Clinton's emails and stuff and then they pop up the picture of the shitter right next to him and the stage. Like, they're not even using the storage room picture as much. They're using the stage and the toilet because they're the most embarrassing of the 4 pictures that we saw in the indictment. And then as soon as she brings up the economy, this is going to be terrible. The economy's going to be shit sometime next year. And right as she says it, and she's about to ask him about kitchen table issues and the idea, and this is Fox Business. Again, the stock market does not have to be indicative of the health of the economy. But I would argue that modern day retail investors are a much bigger part of the market than they ever have been. And that's one of the reasons why it keeps doing this, in spite of the fact that these fuckers wish it would collapse. But I love, because that is their standard, okay? When they hold up their standard and go, fuck, that's funny. That's really, really funny. Watch that again. Watch this moment again.
2024, when we see the worst negative impacts of GDP, that's when we're all going to the polls. Why aren't we having more of a conversation around economics? And can you bring that conversation back?
Why aren't we having everybody's investments are going through the roof? America is the biggest oil producer in the world right now. We also use more than anybody else, and if we cut our oil usage by 2 million barrels a day, and we can do it, kids. We can do it. It's going to take a little while, but we can do it. We will be forever a net exporter. But that's another conversation for a morning show, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But that's fun. That's funny. Come on. They're just being dicks at this point. Oh my gosh, Daily Beaver. From the fellas at the what did you do? The folks at the Daily Beaver, what'd you guys do? That was lovely. Thank you. And that's Canadian. So I have friends where I could actually, hold on, move myself out of the way so you guys can see. Beep. And then I got to shrink it down because that's the problem with this guy. There we go. I want you guys to be able to see it when it happens, and you guys are lovely, and thank you. Oh my gosh, for resubbing, and bless you. And Daily Believers, thank you so much. And Loretta and Jackie and Bald Thanos, thanks a ton. And Cynthia, thank you as well. Did I miss anybody? I'll just slide this thing. Lisa Phillips, thank you. And Robert Brunswick, bless you. Michelle, thank you so much. Florida, you guys are awesome. Thank you for your support. And okay, so bless you. Can I not? Isn't that all right? Am I the only person? I think I'm the only person noticing this when it happens live. Anyways, okay.
Well, look, the reason why that conversation doesn't really happen in our country
is because wages and real wages are rising. And the Democrats are the only ones who give a fuck about wages at all. And if Republicans had their way, they would make it the most dog-eat-dog economy they possibly could, because they believe in this sort of Ayn Randian, I'm magically better than everyone else, and everyone in America is a lazy fuck but me. And if I could just lash them to a piece of furniture or in a desk in a shop and make them do what I want, the whole world would be better. Nothing great has been built without workers who don't have choices.
From a broad political perspective is because the media doesn't want to talk about it.
Yeah, why is the media? You know what? It's so bad that if I come on Fox Business and tell you how bad the economy is, they'll put a picture of how good the economy is next to me. God damn it.
Be very frank. They choose what they want to talk about. They choose what the topics are.
They choose what the numbers for the Dow will be. They choose what the crude oil prices will be. They choose what the wages are. They choose to be that pro-union movements have grown over the last 2 years. They choose to pretend that Biden's economy is better than Trump's, because it is.
And if that's not going to support Joe Biden in his efforts to get reelected, they want to...
See what I mean? They're just being assholes. Look at the graph. Come on.
Ignore it. That's the reason the southern border was basically ignored.
Was basically ignored. You mean while Title 42 was fucking it up? And by the way, can I just, for the record, anybody who's been keeping score, what I tell you about Title 42? As soon as it was over, number went down because it was recidivism that was driving the numbers up. Now they can't even say that. Think about all the shit that's going on, and they're not even going, we got an open border. Like, Trump says it like it's a fucking tick. He can't stop himself. But everybody else, like even Ted Cruz, they're embarrassed to say open border anymore because it wasn't true. And it was, and essentially, that means that when they considered it an open border, what they meant was Title 42. Title 42, people came across, they would just grab them up and put them right back in Mexico, and they would come back again. And then they would come back again. And there was a whole industry that was set up on the Mexican side of the border by cartels because people could try as many times as they wanted without any real legal ramifications. So you just keep doing it. Shit.
That's the reason why nobody ever talked about the fact that Vladimir Putin was amassing troops on the border of Ukraine for 6 months before.
They what? Nobody? Was he unconscious the last 6 months of 2021?
For the Ukrainian invasion. That is the reason why nobody's talking about the fact that Joe Biden's energy policy empowers China. We get the solar.
Okay, he's talking like it's aligned together. Joe Biden's energy policy. Yeah. Okay. How helps China? How? I'm sorry. You what now? Joe.
Fact that Joe Biden's energy policy empowers China.
Empowers China. Because they're. I'm baffled right now. I don't know because nothing is empowering China right now. They're in a world of hurt. The shit.
We get the solar panels from China.
Oh, I see. Because it's empowering China because they're empowering us because they make all the solar panels. Well, they're in, Germany and America and stuff. Hold on one second. If I may, can I show you guys something? Give me 1 second. Okay, hold on 1 second. I'm gonna. American-made solar panels. U.S. solar panels manufactures a list of American-made solar panels. There you go. And on January 22nd, 2018, the Trump administration announced a 30% tariff on solar panels and cells imported to the United States. That has stayed, by the way. This announcement raised a lot of questions and solar customers, blah, blah, blah. U.S. solar panel manufacturers updated for 2020. This is old, by the way. Here's a list of companies with solar panels made in the U.S. Mountain Iron, Minnesota. Whoops, get out of here. San Antonio, Texas. Jackson, Mississippi. Bellingham, Washington has a U.S. manufacturing facility. It's interesting that Seraphim, the Jackson, Mississippi one, is in... it just says U.S. headquarters. Solaria, Fremont, California, U.S. headquarters. Solar Tech Universal, Riviera Beach, Florida. Hillsboro, Oregon. Riverside, California, SunSpark. Tesla, Panasonic, Buffalo, New York, U.S. manufacturing facility. Other notable American solar companies. Here's a bunch of them. But I guess, Byron, fuck them, right?
Get the windmills from China.
We get the windmills from China.
That these electric cars, there's not enough energy on our grid to even power them.
That's ridiculous. Yeah, we don't even, America doesn't have the energy for a battery. It just, I think it's all the TVs. It's all the flat screens. I blame all the flat screens.
These are the real issues that matter. And last but not...
By the way, what kind of an asshole thinks that America's having like rationing? You think we're rationing energy anywhere in this country due to electric batteries charged in cars? The fuck?
At least they don't want to talk about the fact that it's Joe Biden's reckless spending that has started this inflation, which has caused every American to fall behind, whether you're black or white, whether you're Republican or Democrat.
No, we came out of COVID. We don't have monetary inflation. We had supply shock. It's a natural part of the extraction of our manufacturing and our supply chains out of other countries and into ones either here or closer to us. It has nothing to do with the amount of money in circulation. We lost somewhere in the order of $20 trillion worth of business during COVID, and we patched that hole with $6 trillion worth of stimulus. And there is no fucking way in the world that $6 trillion patches a $20 trillion hole. If indeed Dum Dum here knew what the fuck he was talking about, and we'll go to it live. So let's see if we hold on one second. I want to go here. Let's see. Let's see. US dollar index. Yeah. So real quick, and this is a test. This is only a test for our dear friends. Do we have any maggots in the crowd? Are there any maggots here today? Because I know some of them are upset. Yeah, anybody? Nope. We'll see this. Okay, because I've got a question specifically for those folks. Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay. In supply side or a demand driven economy, I have a question. I have a question. If you have too much of something, can you sell it for more or less? Let's say you have a standard like payment that you expect for it, whatever it is. Something costs you 30 cents a widget, and you don't have enough widgets and people want them. Can you charge more for that widget than 30 cents in that circumstance? Yes, correct? Okay. If you have way too many, no matter what the usage is, can you still charge 30 cents for that widget? Or do you start cutting it? Maybe you go 27, maybe 25 cents a widget, right? You got to move them. So supply side econ, no. The reason I'm saying this is because I'm trying to use language, right, that they can kind of grasp. Okay. You'd sell it at a discount. That's right. If you got too much of something, would it be worth more? That's the big question. Super, super easy. Anybody? I'll wait because it says there's a little bit of a delay in the chat room from when I'm speaking. Maggots, anybody? Republicans, Trumpers, somebody who considers themselves a fiscal conservative. Explain to me how something that is you have too much of is worth more than when you have less of it. In any circumstance, in any financial circumstance ever. Can we, if I may, because this is gonna, yes, the value of something drops when you have too much. If there's too much of something, the value of it drops. Great, clear, concise, wonderful. So why the fuck is the dollar worth $1.03? The US dollar is trading at more than $1. It hasn't been below $1's worth in a fucking year. It's been as high as $1.14. Foreign countries are needing more dollars, so they are buying them for more than $1. If Joe Biden, again, is trying to destroy the dollar, he's got a really fucked up way of doing it. I know, I'll destroy it by making it too strong. Yeah. And again, the root of this is and this is beyond your belief system about strong dollar versus weak dollar, exports and imports and trade and all the aspects of the philosophical differences in economics between whether you want your currency to be, more valuable than the goods or vice versa and all that. That's a whole other conversation. But the argument from Byron Donalds and all these assholes, every single one of them, even not Byron Donalds, this dude, hold on. This guy, if I may, has the exact same economic theory about this as, one second. And I know this is going to be shocking to the Byron Donalds of the world. But Byron Donalds has the exact same economic theory about our current state of affairs as this guy. This is Richard Wolff, a Marxist professor who was an economics professor. Where was he? At Boston College or something like that. Where was he? He does Economic Update, Democracy at Work as his show. He used to. He doesn't even list it anymore. Do they not let him? Anyways, yeah, he's an avowed Marxist. He considers himself a Marxist, and he has the same stupid theory about our current situation in terms of the inflation we've been dealing with as Byron Donalds. Same dumb idea, which, for the record, is not based in reality at all, has not borne itself out, does not intellectually, philosophically make any fucking sense based on the reality. And again, nothing's wrong with being wrong. But hanging on to a misguided philosophy or an idea of how something works when every signal points the opposite direction all the fucking time, when you're wrong again and again and again and again and again, at some point you got to go, maybe it's me. Again, if you have too much of something, it's very seldom worth more than it usually is. Byron Donalds and Richard Wolff, Hartman has this slug on regularly. Why? I think it's because the progressives, the hyper-Marxist progressives think he's a real Marxist and like the idea that he gets platformed. That's the only reason I can think of, because he lied on his doctoral dissertation. It's provable. He absolutely lied. He made up a statistic that he had no evidence of to prove his doctoral thesis, and it squeaked by. Nobody checked, and so if they reviewed it, he would, in theory, he would lose his doctorate. He would have to argue it again from another point. He'd have to go find other evidence to make his point. Hal Sparks, I check his channel daily, been quiet for a bit. Yeah, because he's been fucking wrong, and it's embarrassing. So there you go. This, this dude, again, agrees with a Marxist professor who's been wrong.
Well, we are
Thank you. It's University of Massachusetts. Thank you.
Talking about it, and we are going to talk about it every day until
it becomes true. We believe in you. It's the Peter Pan of ideas. We're going to shit talk America until Donald Trump gets back in, and then we won't have to shit talk it. It'll just be shit. These motherfuckers. You're watching House Sparks Mega Worldwide. I like the defense of Trump. It has gotten really strange lately, because it's all it can be is whataboutism. All it can be, well, Hillary and Biden's got some stuff or whatever, without paying attention to the basic facts of either case or even the circumstances. We're going to pretend that the Hillary Clinton email thing wasn't asked and answered a long time ago, and that this is an extraordinary breach far beyond anything that she was even accused of as far as known documents at all. Not at no point did they go, this was worse than the documents that Trump had in the Mar-a-Lago shitter. Nobody's even arguing that because they can't.